Welcome everyone to another episode of the Cryptographic Asset Show brought to you by cryptographicasset.com. We are more than honored to be sitting down today with Juan Dominguez. Juan's been in the crypto space for many years now. He's been very close to the fire in many of the crazes we've seen over the last 6 years. He's currently working at CadenaMKT, Cadena Marketing. Thank you so much, Juan, for joining us today.
Hi, Justin. Thank you so much for inviting me, and happy to be here talking about crypto and crazy stuff.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine. So, Juan, I guess, have you done any marketing for any NFT projects yet?
Not right now, not so far, but we are with another team creating some a project, a platform for with using NFTs for streamers, basically for a niche, a specific niche that is going to be interesting.
What's that niche? I guess, is it like a gaming niche that incorporates NFTs?
Yeah, kind of. It's more about streamers and content creators mostly. I don't want to say much because we are just starting it. So yeah.
So for those crypto projects that are out there today, what do they need to know about the marketing landscape? How do they gain traction in the crypto market today?
That's an interesting question. The thing is, when the price, we have been in the last 2 years in a period where everything was kind of crazy, the same as we lived in 2017. So it was a moment where everything was accepted and everything was wanted, right? So you created something, you said, I need money, and people would basically throw it at you. But now, as soon as the market shift and start going slower, that difficulty to get that money grows exponentially, right? So with that, a lot of projects started believing, yeah, this is going to be easy money, and then they realize that they invested a lot of time and a lot of effort in something that the market is not really prepared. The thing with crypto is that it changes or it varies very quickly, and if you're not prepared, if you're not thinking three squares in advance, you will basically be late. Then you have different type of users that will follow. It's about getting the right the right users, the right channels to get your users, because you will have people that will get in just for the money and how much you're going to offer. But if you don't have a specific group of people that will actually be using and will like to use your product, that is going to be very short-lived, because at the moment the gains or the earnings are not as high, those users that are not there for the project, they will just move on immediately.
Do you see any parallels today between the way in which funds were raised in token sales and the NFT marketing of today?
No, I don't know if exactly with the NFTs, but I do see similarities with other projects. For example, the parachains of Polkadot, in the sense that they have the same idea of locking funds. The thing I like more, I mean, you kind of put one token in order to receive another from the project, and that grants them something, right? The thing with the parachains that I like is that you're not actually giving the tokens to the project. So different to what it was in 2017, that you gave them Bitcoin or Ethereum, and they give you a token, and if that token went down, you just lose the money, right? With the parachains, you have to lock the dots for 2 years, and then you can get them back, right? So that, of course, they get the access to the parachain, and also they get the reputation that they got this slot, right? But the important thing there is that you're not actually risking your funds unless you think, I mean, the risk is that in 2 years, the DOT token will not be worth more than what is worth now, right? But I feel like the ecosystem or the scene has already learned from the mistakes and from the risks of the ICO era in 2017, and they are moving away from that, and they're like perfectioning the ways of raising funds. The NFT part, I see it more of as a two main things. One is for digital artists, that I do see a value there. I do see as something that can change the industry in a way that these digital artists, they didn't have the possibility to sell or to monetize their content in like as a unique product. They only had a chance to like or sell it because someone paid it in advance for that draw or whatever, or like something that you will sell it very cheap, like a donation more than selling a product, right? With the NFTs, that completely shift in like completely changed, and it's a huge value that they can get, right? Then on the other hand, you have the gaming industry. NFTs will change the game, will change the way these games are thought. They are already doing it, and the metaverse is like the third part that comes to like that we have been seeing in the sci-fi movies, and now it's starting to get materialized the same way that it happened with phones, with electric cars, with self-driven cars, etc. Right? So that's very exciting.
You mentioned the parachains by Polkadot, and I wanted to maybe dig into those a little bit. So the parachains are custom project-specific blockchains that are integrated within the Polkadot and Kusama networks. Parachains can be customized for any number of use cases and feed into the main blockchain called the relay chain, considered to be the heart of the Polkadot and Kusama networks. I think also Komodo also allows you to kind of create what Polkadot terms a parachain. Can you speak to the parachains and whatever else you like or know about the Polkadot blockchain?
The Polkadot is looking to like interconnect different blockchain. Is going to like is creating like the infrastructure for a Web3, and the idea of this relay chain is that it will have slots to connect this and to connect these new blockchains, right? These new projects. So in order for them to get in, like to get one of these slots, they have to participate in the auctions, right? These auctions is what I was saying, that users will, it's kind of they vote for which project they want to get the next slot, right? So each slot is released, or each auction has is like finished every 2 weeks, right? So every 2 weeks we have a new project getting in. So these projects, what they do is to say, okay, vote for me, like lock your dots for my project, and I will give you in return tokens of my project, right? So it's a kind of an interesting way of incentivize the auction, like the users to lock the dots in the auction using the tokens, but without risking that you're going to lose the tokens, because those tokens are not, it's not like you're giving them to the fund, you're giving them to the smart contract in the parachains system, right? Like in the Polkadot parachains system.
What else do you think is cool about Polkadot? You seem to be pretty well versed on Polkadot, and it was created by Gavin Wood, I believe, who's a co-founder of Ethereum. It's one of the leading blockchains out of nowhere. It's got really a lot of marketing dollars, it seems, as well. What else do you know about Polkadot?
Well, we had the luck to work with them for the entire last year until like until end of last year. We basically worked with them for a whole year, and they have a huge team. What what we have been discussing, or when we have been talking with them, is that Gavin Woods had this idea of Polkadot in mind when he was building Ethereum. So he left Ethereum to create this, that it was his original idea, right? So in that sense, they have a very capable team, and they, as far as it goes, they are like, which is very important in crypto space, they are meeting the deadlines, they are creating new stuff, they have an ecosystem that grew a lot, because in, like, if we take the best example, that is Dogecoin, in cryptocurrencies, one of the main or the most important things that a blockchain might have is the community. I mean, you can have a project that it doesn't really fit anything, but it has a huge community behind, like, promoting it and backing up, and that crypto will be top 10 or top 100 coin, right? And you might have the best development, you might have the best platform in the world, but if you don't have a community behind that will push it, it will go nowhere. So what Polkadot has is basically a mixture of both, right? They have a part for, like, they have a good team that is developing a good product, but also they managed to grow and to get a huge community. I mean, last year I went to Miami 2021, in Bitcoin 2021 in Miami, and there were people that they saying, I sold everything and only bought Polkadot. They were going to the conference with the Polkadot t-shirt, and that kind of stuff is very important for the project, right?
Yeah, interesting. What other kind of projects have you been working on or working with that you think are exciting?
Well, thanks that we have a marketing agency, so we basically are able to work with different kind of projects, or with different types that they're getting things done in different areas of the industry. We have worked, well, now we're working, for example, with a project that is focusing in IoT. So they are creating a network. It's called Noodle, NODLA, and they are basically creating a network of phones that can transmit like kind of internet data through Bluetooth. So you can have a complete separate network, or kind of internet, without having to getting in the 2.0 network, right? Then we are working with, we haven't seen a lot of projects focusing on DeFi, that here in Latin America is very important. It's not important because it's something new, besides that it's something new, is because it's important because it's a necessity. Here, having extra income, or looking for that small things that can generate an extra income might I mean, in Europe or US, it might be like an extra something, but here it might mean a second salary, right? You can double your salary just doing this stuff. So these platforms that give you a small amount of money, or you can have like passive income, you can stack crypto, etc., are becoming very relevant. We are working, for example, with one from Asia that is called hi.com, hi.com, that they have a very interesting concept, where they are not making money like by charging fees to the users, but they are kind of reinvesting all that into giving the value to the users, which makes their platform to be more valuable, and their like not income, but their value comes, or their incentives comes from generating this huge value from the company. So they basically give rates without fees, etc., etc. So it's a very interesting concept. And then, well, there are. I mean, we have been working with mining. We have been working with exchanges from Latin America. Here in Latin America, especially in Argentina, for the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, exchanges have been at war, basically, like with advertising, because it's very competitive. We have like 12 different like top tier for the local market exchanges. So yeah, we have like public advertisement in the entire city, and spaces in radio, in television, etc., etc. So it's very important. And also what I saw is that like regular citizens now, that they have never been related to crypto, I'm talking about my friends or people I know, like in different groups, etc., they are talking like in a way that you can realize that they know what they're talking about, that they have been studying, they have been investigating. That that's something that didn't happen before, right? It's something that it's very shocking to see how many people, how it changed this cycle from the previous one, in a way that regular people already know what they're talking about, and they talk with the specifics. So yeah, that's getting very interesting.
What else? What other projects excite you right now that you're really passionate about?
NFTs related for sure. I will repeat. To me, NFTs for gaming is going to be very interesting in the following years. I don't see it as the ICO bubble. That even though I do see an importance in the ICO thing, that what happened in 2017, I do see a real use case for NFTs, like especially for video games, also for art. But that is something that I don't see it like maintaining the level that we're seeing now. And then yeah, that's for one side, and on the other side is basically DeFi. I see it because, as I was saying, for here, for places like Latin America, this DeFi platform, this platform that can allow you to escape from government controlled ecosystem or government controlled systems, are going to become very, very important. To allow the citizens to have the real control of their funds, right?
What else excites you about NFTs? We've seen them really kind of catch on in 2021 in particular, and artists have adopted them. We now see functional NFTs coming online increasingly. So like NFTs that can accrue and hold other NFTs that like act as a smart contract holding tokens. Like, why do you tell me about your journey with the NFT space so far?
Yeah, so what I see very important in the NFT is that it created a new whole industry. That, I mean, we had the collectibles industry is something that has been done for centuries, for many years. But the equivalent into digital, we didn't have that because of course how the digital right, the digital nature is. But this now allows or creates, and it's just the beginning of this new digital collectible. So if we had, like, no one knows what could happen in the future, because the NFTs that are being created now, they're getting value not only because they might be, I don't know, the NFT of Messi or of Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan or whoever, but because it's also the first or one of the first recognized NFTs, and by that is like one of the first units of the industry, right? So in maybe 30 years or so, we might have like collectors that the same way that now they are paying hundreds of or millions of dollars for baseball cards, like physical baseball cards from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. In 30 years, the ones that are now like teenagers, etc., they will become those collectors. And if they relate themselves with the NFTs that are being created now, they is something that can grow and can continue as a like a growing industry in that sense. On the other hand, the possibility to monetize a game through NFTs, the counterfeiting part. For example, I have a partner that created a Flashback, that is a platform for ticketing for events using NFTs. So that's brilliant because with that, I mean, with the NFT, as it can't be counterfeit, you can have access to the event. Besides all the information that you can add, or all the value that you can add to the NFT or to the ticket, you also are secure that that token or that ticket, that entrance to the event, will not be counterfeit. So this is just the beginning for that industry, and it's something that it's shown that it has it can have a multiple use case, right? Then you have, and what I see it's going to become very popular or very, very important in the future, is their relationship with the metaverses. Because for the metaverses, we have the technology with the VR goggles. The only thing we need is that they become more, they become cheaper, and they become easier to use or more user friendly. They have a very good like interface, but it still can be improved a lot. And but that time we might have, like, I like to use the example of Ready Player One, the movie, where you have different games that completely interact with each other. So they are like different worlds with a specific topic, but they relate, and you can jump from one to another. So you can take your avatar and your stuff from one game to the other. And that's something that, for me, that I spent many hours playing video games. When you play a game and you invest so much time, because you're basically investing time in that game, if you can't move with that to another game, maybe you want to play another game, but you invested so much time in the first one that you don't want to lose all that you make. So with the NFTs, you can have the property of those items, and you can take them from one game to another. That's a game changer for me, at least.
Talk more about your like video gaming and how you think NFTs could revolutionize the way in which video games are played. If you've got, like you mentioned, Ready Player One, like what is Ready Player One for those who don't know?
Ready Player One is a movie that was released. I don't remember if it was in 2020 or 2019, something like that. That talked about these virtual worlds where you connect. I mean, it has kind of a neural system kind of device that you connect, and you can move, like you immerse completely in this metaverse, and you can move your avatar with your mind. So you're basically playing in first person. I think we are kind of far away from that yet, but you still can kind of move have a similar kind of experience with some devices. And the players there, they have different worlds with different games, where they can just select the game they want to go, and then with one avatar they just play in all the games that are in that universe. That is very similar to what is actually being developed, because this is very, very recent, with some NFT games that you can create. And for example, platforms like Polkadot might allow this with the interoperability of blockchain, right? That you are working with one, or you are playing in one game, and then you want to move to another one, you just move all your character to the other game. Then the other thing that I see that is very important is that it's also changing the concept that we have of money and of value, because in the past the value was related to like physical things, or to something tangible that you can see and you can touch and you can feel. That's what, like, there was value in crops, for example. There was value in working in a factory, or creating things, right? But now that concept is changing so much that we have people making a lot of value just for tapping buttons in a cell phone, right? Or just for something like just for playing video games. So that concept of what can generate, or what is worth of, like, for example, esports, sorry, esport athletes, they were like always underestimated, because they were thought that they were not real athletes. And now that concept completely shifts, and we have professionals that they train the same or more than regular athletes, and they get paid the same or more than regular athletes. But that's because the concept of what can generate this value, and what can be paid for, changed, right? So that is becoming more popular into the video games as well, right? Before, like, I'm not saying, I don't know, I'm saying 10 years ago, considering getting paid for playing video games was crazy. And the games that had kind of a system of a monetary system, it was illegal to move, like, to turn that into something physical, to money in the real world, right? But now that is also changing. So we have games that are basically games where the players, they're not playing anymore. I mean, you can play it if you want, but you can also work from that. So for all those people that they were looking to, they like video games, that they want to make a living out of it, now they can, without having to become like a professional athletes, right?
Have you are you like a collector of NFTs, or like how would you categorize yourself in that market?
I'm not a collector yet. I only have like 2 or 3, not more than that. But I always liked like collectibles, since, I don't know, Magic the Gathering cards, and like toy cars, etc., etc. So I see it like that's why I see the value in this new ecosystem of digital arts and such. But I tend to focus more in the usability of the NFTs, not only like something that can be collectible and that's it, not art piece and that's it, but something that can have a usability. For example, that's what I was saying, that Flashback is a great project in that sense, because they found a need, and they found a use case that it really works, in the industry that they're focusing on, right?
What's the crypto space in Argentina like?
Crazy. The ecosystem in Argentina was one of the first to develop in the world. In one moment between 2011 and 2015, we were the fourth largest community in the world. I think it was Israel, Russia, and US was kind of the biggest, and then Argentina. But that was because of all the political restrictions and economic restrictions that we have, and all the mess that we have with the economy, that we cannot trust in the national currency. So we need to, and we cannot trust in the government that they will not find a way to seize or to take the funds. We had examples, for example, in 2001, where the government or the banks just directly took the funds of the savings and sometimes lifetime savings of the citizens without any repercussion. So, and a lot of people lost all their money. So we cannot trust in our banks. And that basically, I mean, we are now, and back then, in a situation where we don't have the freedom to use, for example, US dollars, right? We cannot buy US dollars unless we go to the black market, and we cannot transfer them outside the country. And if we accept, for example, a payment in dollars in an Argentinian account, they paid us at the official rate. I mean, they forced citizens to change it to the official rate, that is 107 pesos per dollar. But then if you want to buy it, you have 65% taxes. So the minimum that you can buy it, and you can only buy like $200 per month. So the minimum that you can buy it is like 180. So with all that kind of example of negative like restrictions and cut of freedom that we have, it's very understandable that citizens here or producers or like businessmen, etc., they started looking to crypto. And not, I mean, in the beginning it was like people that work with international commerce, but now it's just everybody, because things are getting worse. So like basically everybody is trying to prepare and to protect themselves from that, and that's why they are so much into crypto. I mean, if I had to say, I would say that Argentina is the most, I mean, that is a country in Latin America, at least, that the majority of people, of citizens, know and understand about crypto. One is because of the situation, and other because of the community that it grew. It was created in 2013. We have a Bitcoin center. We organize the major the La Bitcoin, that is the major blockchain related conference in the world. Sorry, not in the world, in Latin America. And we are starting. We have projects, for example, like La Bitcoineta, that is a truck that goes to different small locations to talk with locals about crypto and explain to them, etc. So there is a lot of groundwork to promote cryptocurrencies. We have appearance in, I mean, all the media is constantly talking about crypto, and as I was saying, we have a huge battle between exchanges mostly and other crypto companies that are advertising very aggressively because they see that it's not difficult to convert new users, because they have, most of them has already been exposed, and they see the value in using cryptocurrency.
Anything else about the scene in Argentina as it relates to Bitcoin first? So or you know what, just in general, like what are some of the most popular blockchains in Argentina?
We have a little bit of everything. I mean, in worldwide, of course, the most important besides Bitcoins, you have Binance Smart Chain, you have Ethereum, you have Polkadot, Solana is also being heard a lot. And then there is one local here that is RSK that was created by a group of Argentinians that is also promoting a lot of local projects like from Latin America. They created smart contract platform on top of Bitcoin. So instead of creating their own blockchain, what they do is they connect to Bitcoin, and they use Bitcoin as a security base layer, and then they create the new protocol as a second layer on top of that, with the different projects being the third layer to it.
What else? What's your favorite blockchain?
Right now, I'm very excited about Polkadot. As I was talking before, I'm basically is the one that I am not invested, but at least looking into the most. Then with Ethereum, I'm mining. I do have my miners, and the best one, of course, will always be Bitcoin. To me, Bitcoin, besides it was the first, there is a very important value in the difference between Bitcoin not having a creator, a known creator, and the rest of the blockchains that you have a main developer. Like you have Hawkins on Inada, you have Vitalik in Ethereum, you have Gavin Wood in Polkadot. But in Bitcoin, you don't have that. So to me, Bitcoin has like a level of decentralization that the rest of the projects will never achieve. So, unless, I mean, even if they say that the creators have no, you know, they have no, their opinions are not worth more than the rest of the community, blah blah blah. But in the end, having the label of creator of or main developer of, it does have a meaning, right? And in Bitcoin, no one can have that spot. So that's why basically to me, Bitcoin has like a more importance than the rest of the platforms.
I want to talk also about Ethereum mining. What's that all about?
Well, Ethereum mining now is the system that is the most profitable to mine with GPU, like with home based like miners, since the technology was growing and was being developed. So like the Bitcoin sorry and
like how does it
Bitcoin,
tell us about, like, for you, like like let's say somebody else was thinking about mining Ethereum, what tips would you give to them?
the most important thing is that Ethereum can be mined by anybody. Like you don't need, for example, with Bitcoin, you do have that that idea that you can mine if you just plug the computer and do it. But at the moment, the system grew so much that you need to be kind of specialized and professional when you want to start mining Bitcoin. With Ethereum, you can just buy the components and start mining, and the components are very easy to find because they are the same components as a game and computer, right? So that's the main difference. And I actually recommend when I give classes or teach somewhere, is that they focus in, if they want to mine, they focus on mining Ethereum or to mine with GPU. It's not about mining Ethereum, because Ethereum mining might have their days count, right? It's not something that might go for a lot long years because Vitalik itself said that they don't like proof of work. They want to shift to proof of stake. So by the time they shift to proof of stake, mining Ethereum will not be profitable or will not be possible anymore. But what I see is that GPU mining became an industry itself. Like if we follow the history, GPU mining started mining Bitcoin, and then when Bitcoin jumped to a SIG, then GPU mining jumped to Litecoin, and then the same happened with Dash or with Dash, and then the same happened with Ethereum. That is what we have now, right? So what I see is that GPU mining is a provider, but it's also a consumer in a way, right? It's a provider of security, it's a provider of computing power, right? But they are a consumer and they need a project that will consume that hashing power, right? So if Ethereum stop being profitable or they stop being like mined with Ethereum, sorry, with GPU, you will still have a lot of offer of these GPUs, of this cryptographic security that will be there, like looking for a client, so to say. So it will not be difficult for another crypto to just take the spot of Ethereum and become the next GPU mining lead cryptocurrency, basically, right? So they can, the crypto can take advantage because of the network effect, and having all these miners, of course, will have an increase in the reputation and the security of that platform, and the miners will have their. It doesn't mean that the prices and the benefit and the things that we're seeing now, I mean, the profit that we're seeing now is going to maintain. Like 1 or 2 years ago, miners were generating like 20 or 25% of what they are getting now. So that income, that profit might go down, but I don't see GPU mining disappearing if Ethereum disappears. I mean, if Ethereum moves from proof of work, for example.
That's great. So why is Bitcoin, you think, so important? You mentioned Bitcoin is one of your favorite blockchains. Tell us about your thoughts on, well, Bitcoin, particularly in Latin America, Juan, whether that be El Salvador or in general.
I see Bitcoin as the equivalent to digital gold. I don't see it as a currency, even though I say they are coins. And I mean, I don't say they are coin, but I name them coins because it's easier. But I don't see it as a currency. I see it as a digital gold, because I like to do this parallel that, you know, gold is a physical object that you can take from the nature, right? And then you have Bitcoin, and it's not created by anyone. It's just an element that is there. It's metal that is there. And on the other hand, you have Bitcoin that it had not been, I mean, it's not known who created it, but also, or it's not controlled by anyone. And it's also a digital item that you basically extract from the digital nature, right? From a digital nature. So in that way, that's what I like the most about Bitcoin. You know, that concept of a true item, true digital item that is not controlled by anyone except the one that has the ownership of that, right?
Wow, Juan, we've talked about a wide range of topics today. Any concluding comments?
Not really. I mean, thanks again for inviting me. It was very interesting to talk to you again, since we haven't been talking a lot in the last couple of of time and in the last time. But yeah, I'm very happy to be able to talk with you and participate in the.
Pleasure's all mine, Juan. Pleasure's all mine. So let's do it again sometime. Where can people find you on the internet?
I can share my Twitter or Telegram. Telegram is Juan M. Dominguez. Maybe I don't know if it's written in the description, but I can give it. If not, in Twitter, in my email is juan@CadenaMKT.com. Basically, any of those.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Juan, so much for joining us today. He's a crypto OG. He is at CadenaMKT, Cadena Marketing these days. And I look forward to having you on again soon, Juan. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you everyone for listening.